What's up, y'all? It's your girl Sang, and today I actually want to do a video response to a comment I got. I would have just given like a text response, but it would have been so long, it just doesn't. Video makes more sense. If we had the ability like on TikTok to do video responses, that would have been way better, but instead you're getting this. Anywho, this is what the comment said. It said, and I guess for context, this is from my video where it said Charleston White talks about Kanye West. So the comment I received says, I want to understand, every other ethnic group doesn't mind that the Jews dominate the industry. Why does it bother you? And do you think you are stronger than the rest of the population to change something? Good question. Before I answer, let me just make this clear because I notice most people who come across my videos are not my subscribers. Like 92% of you are like not subscribed. So I don't know what you're doing, but go ahead and subscribe. Just to make this perfectly clear, and I have stated this in other videos, so my faithful subscribers that watch all my videos already know this. I'm Jewish and I'm black. Okay? That's just what it is. And I was raised that way. Okay? I'm not saying that in the sense where Kanye is like, we are the original Jews from the lost 12 tribes of the Bible and blah, blah, blah. No, like I'm literally like Jewish. I'm half and half, all right? Don't let the skin tone fool you. Don't let me practicing Christianity fool you. That's how I was raised. Half of my family, they done been through the Holocaust, everything else. They actually from overseas, from over there before they came up over here. So that's just what it is. And then you have my black side, right? So I grew up learning both sides and my history from both sides. So I'm pretty well versed in what I'm talking about when I be saying, usually my videos I'm talking to the black community because there's really no reason for me to talk to the Jewish community. We didn't already do what we were supposed to do. And you're gonna hear me say that because like I said, I come from both communities and I learned both of the histories. So the Jews already did what they were supposed to do when they came over here to America, right? And they were regulated to hoods and projects, just like anybody else that came over here from Germany, Italy, all that. Everybody that came up over here was regulated to hoods and projects and was discrimination amongst each other, just like everybody was discriminating against the blacks, yada, yada, yada. We all know the history. The Jews came up with Jewish law where they were like, oh, this is what we're going to do to help each other out, and this is how we're going to raise our kids, and blah, blah, blah. That's the history blocks. That takes us to today, where despite being the smallest population, carry the most wealth and the most power, okay? Now, we flip it, and we look at the black community, right? We are also a small population, not as small as the Jewish population, right? We're about 13%. We're between 13 and 14. I don't know what that small percentage marker is. I always forget. So we're just going to say 13%, okay? And yet we have the lowest wealth, and we hold no power, okay? And the reason for that is a lot of people from my community wants to be like, well, racism and slavery. It's like, okay, but the Jews literally went through Holocaust. Not that long ago either. So, you know what I'm saying? All these people came over, and I understand systematic racism, colorism. I get it. I know the history of all of that. But what I said in that video was that all the other races literally created a blueprint, and they've been following it they all do the same thing. It's not just them. I mentioned the Asian community as well, because a dollar circulates in their community for about a month. And I said the Jewish community, a dollar circulates for about 19, 20 days. Our community, just a couple hours. Just a couple hours. Because we rather give everybody else our money than for us to keep it. So, to answer the first part of your question, I want to understand every other ethnic group doesn't mind that the Jews dominate the industry. Why does it bother you? For one, I can't speak on every other ethnic group. I don't know if it bothers the Chinese or the Mexicans or the Italians or the Indians. I can't answer that question. And if it does, I'm pretty sure one of them can hop in the comment section and tell you that if they want to. But I can't speak on if it bothers them or not. I can only speak on my community, which is also the black community. And it bothers us because in our community, most of us want to be either entertainers or sports players. And because of that, who's at the head of those industries, right? Jewish people. They're the ones cutting the checks. back down to us. And if we want that money, we have to do what they tell us to do, just kind of like at any other job, right? I don't know if you work for yourself or if you work for anybody else, but let's just say you work at a warehouse, right? You're going to have a boss, and that person's going to have a boss, and yada, 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 yada. But if the person at the top of the company, like let's say you work for a small business, the person who owns it works with you, and they're cutting your check personally. And they're going to tell you how to act and how to behave if you want to keep getting a check with them. Now, because the Jewish people are usually in the head spots for most of the entertainment and music and media companies and sports and all of that, whereas where black people want to go, that plays a part on us, because now we have to act a certain way and behave a certain way if we want to receive any sort of income, right? I actually just saw a video earlier today, because you guys know Takeoff just recently died. So a label executive who actually is not a label executive anymore, he said he left the industry due to his religious beliefs and his morals and ethics and all that. He literally came out and said what we all have known for ages. So it's like him coming out isn't really shocking, but I guess for some of you it is. And I'll play the video clip as well.
Of seeing that a rapper from Migos died, I just wanted to go ahead and make a video about something I have a unique experience in. So I directed a bunch of rappers, people like Gucci Mane, Snoop Dogg, Lil Yachty, the list goes on and on and on, okay? I learned a lot of things, and I have left the industry largely over my political beliefs, but there is something I want to impart to people to hopefully, make some sort of change happen. So I have a challenge to rappers, and I know some of you still follow me. I know a bunch of the celebrity blogs still follow me from trying to get news from music videos and things like that. So here's the truth. The truth is this: a bunch of young black male rappers keep dying. You know who's not dying? Record executives. The record executives that push for them to continue to make songs and create a culture that is obsessed with death, drugs, and sex. Period. The industry is obsessed with it, but those record executives, they're not dying because they don't push this culture on their own people, but they're encouraging you to push it on yours, and they're paying you handsomely to do it. The reality is, I know a lot of you. A lot of you are good people. You're family guys. You're not the image that you put out there to the world. Why? Why don't you be the example? Stand up. I challenge you. Be the example. Make music about the culture you want to see. Don't just get online today and talk about how, whenever a rapper makes it, his own people take him down. Don't just make those videos. Don't be sad. Don't rest in peace. None of that stuff. Be the change you want to see. Inspire it in your community. Reach out to other rappers and say, we have to stop. We're being used. You've been used for a long time. They create this paradigm to make you believe that you're so important and your celebrity status is worth so much, but in truth, you're a pawn in their game, and you always have been. The government has wanted to hold down communities of people in different ways through different methods for a very long time. Their method in the black community has been to use entertainment to create a culture obsessed with death, drugs, sex, and money, so that they could create a false paradigm of what happiness and what success really was. And in doing so, they created a world that also made people more dependent on government, and as a result, gave themselves more power. The record executives that push you to do this, to go and continue to profit off the backs of your work, they're in cahoots with the elite. They're in cahoots with the government. They want you to think you're important, but in truth, you're just doing their dirty work for them, so stop. They've empowered you in ways that are real. You have an audience, you have platforms, you have the ability to make change. So go against the grain together. They're more afraid of you all together standing up and creating a new culture that's built around family, faith, freedom, doing the right thing, valuing life, than they are of anything else. So I challenge you. Use your power to do the right things. If you continue to do the same thing you've done, more rappers like this are going to die. How many have to die before you change the culture? And let me tell you something else. There's a reason the record labels pay us more to do rap videos. They don't tell you that, do they? Do they tell you that they pay us more to do your videos? Because they do. They do it because they know it's more dangerous. They do it because they know it's more difficult, and they do it because Frankly, there's a lot of money laundering involved. Those labels wash a bunch of money through. We don't do it, but we know the labels are doing it 100%. Okay, they're then taking the money off the top end, and you see on your royalty check, oh, they spent $150,000 on this video. Did they? Because we didn't see $150,000. Okay, and to who? Their friend's company? A lot of times that's the case. Same thing with insurance companies. They charge us more to insure your videos. And it's because they know the culture that's been created. They know that the only possibility of a music video being shot up is on a rap video. And that's the truth. So change the culture. You have the power. Your people deserve it.
We're getting paid to promote this culture, this image that we keep pushing on to new black people that are born every single day. You see what I'm saying? And they manipulate that. And if they don't like what you have to say, they're going to be like, hey, do what I say or you don't get this check. And because you need the money, you're going to do what they say. That's just what it is. It all comes down to money and power. And because they have most of the money, despite having low numbers, they are able to control a lot of the power. Now, to segue off of that, your second part, it's like, and do you think you are stronger than the rest of the population to change something? I'm assuming you mean when I meant the whole black population. Yes, if we all collectively got together, we would make a change. How do I know that? I know that because if we all collectively got together and we stopped giving all of you our dollars that only last a couple hours in our hands, that would definitely impact the rest of y'all. Because y'all make money off of us and y'all know it. And I'm not making that up either. If we decided to keep all of our money to just us, right? And we leave all of y'all industries, everything that y'all are in charge of, it don't even matter at this point if it's Jewish, Indian, I don't care who in charge. If we completely disconnected from everybody, all the basketball players leave the NBA, all the football players leave the NFL. I'm talking about the black ones, right? And we all create our own basketball leagues, our own football leagues. We create our own music stations. We create our own music networks. We create our own record labels where we only deal with us. We create our own distribution channels because that's where most of us wants to go, right? Y'all would lose so much money. It wouldn't even be funny. Y'all would lose a ton of money. Now, to piggyback off of that, if we were able to get other things into our neighborhoods to get people to care about, that's not sports and music, because there's a whole world outside of that we can also get into, right? We can get into the tech industry. It ain't many of us up in there. It really ain't. Most of tech is really just white people and Indians. Oh, and Asians. You rarely see black people in tech. We need to get into more sectors like that and leave rap and all this other crap alone. But just for the sake of this argument, yes, if we broke off of everybody else and did our own thing and kept the money within our community collectively as a whole, if we were able to hold $1 in our community for about 25 days, yeah, it'd make a huge difference. A lot of things would change. However, we collectively can't do that. And that's what Charleston White was also talking about in that video. There's the blueprint's already been laid out. Every other race does it. They literally do it. And we sit here and most of us like to keep with these handouts. Oh, we want the welfare. We want the Section 8. Why? I said that in the Charleston White video. Why? It ain't not. It's crumbs and peanuts. Y'all want crumbs and peanuts so bad. Why? If we all collectively got together and told them to keep it, they couldn't hold us down. If we kept our family unit together, okay? Planned Parenthood abortions and stuff, that was created to diminish our numbers. And they worked. We have the most abortions every year. Abortions is actually the leading cause of our deaths in our community outside of black on black crime. And yes, black on black crime is a thing, and I can say that. It's a statistical fact, just like you have white on white crime, okay? Mexican on Mexican crime. It happens because of the neighborhoods we live in. Most neighborhoods usually compromised of like the same color or whatever. So you have these statistics. They're not just talking points when y'all be like, oh, they just saying that because they're coons or what. No, those are real talking points. Those are real statistics. When they sit there and they want y'all to feel a certain way where they be like, the cops are killing most of us. They aren't. About 1,000 people died last year, a little over 1,000, by cops' hands. Okay? Only 20-something% of that was black people dying by a cop's hand. Most of the people that died from cops were white. But how they want to flip it on you, because we're only 13% of the population, oh, we're dying more so by cops than blah, 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 because that's how they want to flip the numbers on y'all. When the reality is, it's 1,000. Yet, thousands of black babies die over the course of a year. We die at a higher rate of abortions than we do by police. We die at a higher rate by violence between ourselves than we do by the police. But nobody wants to talk about that. We have so many issues in our community that it needs to be fixed, that if we actually got together and fixed them and worked together as a unit and start doing things how we're supposed to do, because a blueprint has already been laid, we would be fine. But we don't want to do that. Because what ends up happening is that most of the time, people will want to start creating change, right? They'll want to start doing something, but most people don't want to get on board. I'm not about to help with that. I'm not about to jump on that. But y'all be real quick if some scammer come in and be like, I can show you how to flip your money doing this real estate. Or if you just give me a little bit of money, I'll build these schools out. We'll let another black person scam us easily. But if a black person actually trying to build and do something, oh no, that's not worth our time. That's not worth our time at all. We can barely get help for that. Happens all the time. Then you can have people telling you the truth, like I am, right? But y'all don't want to hear it. Most of the people in our community label us coons. You got Larry Elder, Thomas Sowell, right? Candace Owens. Every generation, you have one. You have black people that's like, hey, y'all know if we just do X, Y, Z and get up out the system, we'd be good, right? Shut up. Shut up, you coon. Nobody wants to hear what you saying. That's what it is. Every time I do a video about the black community and us getting together and making change, this ain't like that video wasn't my first one. But I know I've never seen you comment before. So I know you're not subscribed. So you just, that's why this is my response to your comment. But it just is what it is. Collectively, as a group, we can move mountains. We can do a lot. We all just can't get on the same page. And it's sad. It's really sad. That's all I wanted to say. I really just wanted to respond to your comment. I'm glad you came across my channel. I don't know if you liked the video or not. I don't even know how much of that video you watched, but hopefully you stick around and others stick around. And check out more of the content that I pump out. I pump out 3 videos every single day. Saturdays, it's just like those 3 videos. It's all video games. Sundays, that's the day for the Lord, it's all Christian videos. During the week, you gonna get a mix of whatever, except video games. Video games is really just only Saturdays, and then my 7 p.m. EST slot on Friday. That's the only time. But the rest of the week is gonna be a toss-up. You're either gonna get conservative news or you're gonna get Christian news. Okay? With that said, I'm glad y'all here. And I appreciate every person that does watch my videos and gives me views and sticks around and wants to see how we grow. And I'm just saying, like, coming from both sides, I really want my black community to win. It's just hard sometimes. A lot of us, we just hard-headed and stubborn. And it makes a lot of us just want to walk away and be like, forget y'all then. But deep down, it's like, you can't, because, you know, we want us to win. I want us to win so bad. I want to be able to look at a statistic and it's like positive. I'm tired of looking at statistics that are so negative about us. I think the only positive thing I can give us is that when it comes to marriage, most black men marry black women. That's a great statistic. I know social media would like to tell y'all otherwise. They like to be like, oh, our black men is dating everybody else and they're marrying everybody else. They're really not. They're mostly marrying us. That's wonderful. Outside of that, it's too much. It's so much negativity. And I'm honestly sick of it, to be honest with you. That's why if you can work within your community to start making change, if we all just did that. I remember Lupe used to say this all the time back in the day. And what happened? Our own community tore him down. It was like, you don't know what you're talking about. Because this was around the time Obama came in as president. And Lupe was like, I'm not rocking with the president. And y'all called him a coon. He explained why. He explained he didn't rock with any president. He was like, I'm more so about getting stuff done on the ground in our communities. Because the president, he can't control any of that. He can only do so much at the level he's at. And y'all tore that man down and called him a coon. Just please work within your communities. It don't matter what it is. If you have time to give, awesome. To any charity that will help bring change in our communities, awesome. If it's monetary value, cool, do that. A lot of us is too hard-headed, too selfish. Our egos get bruised too easily. That's why we taking each other out. You don't see this happen in other communities. Have you ever seen a country star kill another country star? Because they was beefing at a dice game? Our whole culture needs to shift. Our whole culture. If we could do that, man, yeah, the black community can move mountains. Mountains, I'm telling you. But until next time, y'all already know who it is.